Hey, konnichiwa, minasan. It's Gray from Wakizashi's Teahouse over in Japan. How are you doing? Are you good? Are you Genki? Are you ready for the nasty piece of work, Chief? Ask anyone. John Constantine. I've got a review of John Constantine, Hellblazer, Dead in America, Issue 2. Written by Spurrier. It's got art and a cover by Aaron Campbell. Colours by Jordi Belair. So, I've been looking forward to this. If you caught my review of the first issue, you'll have heard that I really enjoyed it. Unlike some people, but yeah, I love Constantine, I love the character. I love it when a writer gets him, and I think Spurrier does most of the time. But as I get on with my story summary, I will give you a few kind of minor criticisms with this issue, and I don't think it's as strong as the first issue, but there's still a lot of good stuff in here, and there's a lot that goes on. Okay, here's a synopsis from DC. With the spectre of mortality breathing down his neck, John heads to the Big Easy, where he enlists the skills of old friend Clarice Sackville to heal the fractured mind of Alec Holland, the Swamp Thing, and use that elemental power to kickstart his own dead heart. Perhaps she can do that, but it will require a drug-induced journey into distant realms that'll shake John to his rotten core. And meanwhile, Nat and Noah learn the magical lengths Clarice is willing to go in order to extend her own terrifyingly long life. Whew, 2 very long sentences there. It's oversized. I'm not quite sure the page count, but it is a bigger page count than regular books. Of course, it's DC Black Label, so it's $4.99 as well. But for those who are fans of John Constantine, the character, this is a recommend. I'll be giving my score at the end of the review after the story summary, so please keep watching, and here we go. We start with the cover. It gives us a hint of what we're going to find, or who we're going to find inside. Do you recognise the character, the bottom right? It's Clarice Sackville, who was created by Warren Ellis and John Higgins back in Hellblazer issue 134, the first part of Haunted. Also great to see Swamp Thing on the cover, but what is going on with him here? He appears to be emerging from, what is it, a demon's mouth or a spiky tree? Maybe we'll find out inside. After a commercial for Batman First Night, Dan Jurgens and Mike Perkins by the way, we open up with a state trooper stood in the rain with his gun drawn. He's saying there's nothing to report. Somebody approaches behind him. It looks a bit like the Terminator from Terminator 2 who was sent to chase Arnie's Terminator. But no, it's a woman because the trooper addresses her as ma'am. Next minute, he gets stabbed in the back. So we're off to a gruesome and a murderous start. Turn the page and we get this stunning image here by Aaron Campbell. Look at that. What a view, what a perspective. Very gruesome again. And what's going on in the background on the bottom panel here? This female cop, whoever she is, whatever it is shooing away what appear to be, is it harpies? Harpies? Is that right? Winged female crones or something. Leave something for the forensics, she says. She calls in the crime, blames it on John. Last seen travelling in a double-decker bus, cherry red. But then she's interrupted by someone, or is it something again, standing in the distance. I see you, boy. She calls him the vanishing hiker, whatever that means. Then she tells him to get back west, where he comes from. If you know who this is meant to be, please let me know in the comments. Next, we jump to New Orleans, and it's Clarice Sackville, the elderly woman, the mysterious magician. No one knows her true age, but it's rumoured she's at least over 200 years old. Now, I've got to point out, as you can see for yourselves on these 2 pages, there's a lot of dialogue, a lot of narration. Come on, it's Spurrier, and he does like to waffle on. But some of it's quite good. Some of it felt a bit heavy-handed in this second issue. When it goes a bit too forced, when it feels forced, it kind of takes you out of the story. Well, it can do if you let it, I guess. But, I'm here for the characters. I'm here for John Constantine. I'm going to keep reading. For one thing, it is well written. I'll give him that. But as I say, yeah, a little bit heavy-handed here and there. At times it feels like you're being lectured. You know what I mean?
How dare you!
So Clarice is telling a story from the past about women who were sent over to become wives. And then rumours of stories of vampires. Were they actually vampires or were they turned into vampires? It's not clear. But at the same time, there's a street tour of New Orleans going on in the background. Here, someone seems to get grabbed by something off the street. Where'd your friend go, miss? She seems unconcerned. And she's talking about subscribers. What is it? She's got 200,000 subscribers following her. Is she streaming live? Live streaming? I might know a little bit about that.
Job's a good one.
Not really. As Clarice is finishing her story, or is it lecture, Spurrier, we've got Nat, John's mate. Well, I don't know if she is his mate or not, you know, the bodyguard from the Scottish pub. Clarice susses her out. She knows that John sent Nat to basically bring her to him. He sends his pet Glaswegian to fetch her with a pistol in one pocket and chloroform in the other. I suppose you'd better take me to him. Clarice Sackville, as I live and breathe. Okay, that's enough of me Liverpool accent. Liverpool? I'll just read it normally from now on if that's possible for Gray. We'll see. Clarice quickly spots that John looks like crap. But what's this in a little glass jar? It looks like a mushroom or a toadstool. John tells her he dug it up from the 5th hole from a golf course. And it seems that he wants Clarice's help with it. Could this be all that's left of poor Swamp Thing? A mushroom? Tell you what, I bet it's magic. Clarice tells John there'll be a price because, come on, there's always a price. But none of them were expecting her to say she needs the heart of a vampire. Their initial reaction is laughter. But then, no wait, you're fucking serious? Could this be a ploy though from Clarice, sending John's friends away? We shall see. John's not sure as well. Heart of a fucking vampire? I missed you too, love. Then there's a weird scene here where John starts quoting something to her about the Sibyl at Q, and then he gets cut off. Clarice is angry. She tells him not to dare. Clarice bends down, looking into the glass jar. She's talking to what's left of Swamp Thing. She asks it if it's capable of generating psychedelics. Can you grow some tubers, you know, the trippy spuds, says John. The mushroom does so. We see something growing out of it. Clarice picks it and starts to munch on it. And then John admits that it wasn't his idea to come here. Clarice guesses. Dream of the endless. Come here, John, you're coming with me on this journey. And she makes him take a bite of the mushroom. The question is, will it make him bigger or smaller? Switch scenes to Nat and Noah, looking for the heart of a vampire, I guess. I don't know where they are, but look at it, it's a right mess. The abandoned streets of parts of New Orleans, I guess, that were taken out by the flood. But there are 2 people approaching. It's the live streamer with her guide. She's giving him money to get the real story. When the guide seems to see something, and can I ask here, what's going on with the face of the guide? That bottom panel on the right there. Poof, something leaps and grabs the live streamer and appears to rip one of her arms off. What is going on there? It's a crazy panel by the artist Aaron Campbell. Nat reacts in the background and takes a couple of shots, but they do nothing. Then we're back with John and Clarice, about to go on a trip. What will this trip reveal? I'll have to stop here because I don't want to spoil too much more, but there are still 13 pages of story to go, and I gotta say, there's an absolute cracking final page. It's so worth reading and getting through all this text to get there. I'm enjoying it because, you know, I like the character so much, and I think Spurrier gets him, but this issue might put a lot of people off because it is very verbose and a little bit lecture heavy. So there you have it. I do hope you enjoyed that. I tried not to spoil too much, but I did want to show you, some of the art, and I do love the art in this. Aaron Campbell having a great time on this book by the looks of things. Here's one of the only variant cover. It's by Donny from 2023. Yeah, there we go. I'm not sure about this one. And if I'm going to give a score for this issue, last issue I gave a very high score. This one, it's still very strong, but I think the kind of tendency to over-narrate and a bit lecture heavy and take a few points off. So I'm going to give this a 8 out of 10, a Wakizashi 8. Okay, so as always, thank you so much for watching this far, listening this far. I really appreciate it. Shout out to all the Wakizashi Teahouse members. You guys and girls rock. And I hope to see you all in a future video. This is Gray from Wakizashi's Teahouse, signing off for the afternoon here. Matinee.